because I had all this training, and I said to myself, you know, I just can't back off with this training and go play golf every day. And I did enjoy golf, and I've had to give it up because of this work. But I'm not complaining, believe me.
Well, you know, I got to say, I'm right along there with you. One of my companies is I teach the mental aspect of golf.
Really?
Yeah, and I haven't been able to pick up sticks in 3 years.
Well, I'll be down to play golf with you, and you teach me how to be mental about it.
Okay, I'll do that. I would love to do that. And one of these days, I will find time to go back into it because, well, see, golf, as you know, Ted, is the sport of Satan. I am totally convinced of that because a loving God would not put me in a position where my anger would manifest like it does on the golf course.
Really?
Oh, my goodness.
You mean when you hit a bad shot?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I can handle that.
Well,
I need to teach you the mental aspects of golf.
I can do a lot better now because I'm older, I'm more mature, I'm wiser, and I don't get as mad. However, when I was starting out, a fellow that has worked with me for years and years and years, and I worked with him, and he's one of the long drive champions. He was 5-time long drive champion. And being a pro golfer, you know, they are used to being around people that can't play well and probably use colorful language. Well, Paul, after a while, wouldn't play with me.
Really?
Oh, no. He said it was too embarrassing. And then my wife, I was teaching her how to play, and then finally she stopped playing, but she would drive around in the cart with me. And then pretty soon she wouldn't even go in the cart with me.
Because you're that angry about not getting a good shot?
Yeah. I'm a perfectionist, and I demand perfection within myself.
Well, I'm a perfectionist too, but I realize you can't be perfect all the time.
I try, though.
But I try too. And on the golf course, I have to accept the fact that I have limited capability and abilities there, you know.
Yeah. Well, I've really, Ted, I've settled down, and you would be very proud of me now. But yeah,
and you were teaching the mental aspects of golf, and you were having.
I'll tell you, right, we got about 2 minutes before we bring Rusty on, but I want to tell you one story. I used to write articles for Golf Magazine. They had an article about me, 4-page article in Golf Magazine, and they had the greatest response of any article ever written. And I wrote about the mental aspect of golf. So anyway, I became known as the guru of the mental aspect of golf. This was before any of this stuff came out, because now it's very popular. But I'm talking about back in the early 70s, 74, 75. And I was living in Denver at the time, and then 2 young professional golfers who were on tour came to study with me. One was a female who was on the LPGA tour, and the other was a kid working to get on the big tour, the PGA tour, but he was on the mini tour at that time. So they came out and we played around the golf in my golf course, my club, and I missed a shot. And there happened to be, and it was with a 7-iron, there happened to be a metal pole sticking up out of the ground. I guess it was for aeration or something. And I took my club and I whacked it, and I knocked off about an 18-inch piece. It came flying back, missed my head and my eye by about 2 inches. I was still so angry, I did it again, knocked off another 1.5 feet piece. That almost hit me. And I looked over, and I saw the expression on these 2 kids' faces. Their eyes were like $half. Their mouths were open, and they were looking at me like saying, "Oh, my God, what did we get into? This is the guru of golf." And so anyway, yes,
So you cleaned up your accent then?
Oh, quite a bit. Yeah. I could tell you some stories that are truly unbelievable. But let's get Rusty on, okay?
Okay.
Everybody stay where you are. Ted Gunderson and I will be right back with our first special guest tonight, Rusty Nelson. And everybody, we are back. And coming back, I want to, of course, bring our guest host, Ted Gunderson, on with me, but also a very special young man, somebody whose story you're going to be amazed at, and that is Rusty Nelson. Rusty, thanks so much for joining us on Mysteries of the Mind.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, Alex.
And try and talk up as loud as you can. I don't know why this thing is acting like this.
Is that better?
That's a little better. Yeah. Ted, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, sir. Rusty, number one, I want people to understand a little bit about you, who you are, how your involvement started with this whole sordid story that we're all into. Could you kind of give people a little bit about your background and where we stand now?
Well, I've been a professional photographer for almost 25 years now. When I was first starting out and getting established, I was, a starving artist. And I got hooked up with Larry King. I was going to this bar and taking pictures. They were doing drag shows. It was a gay bar, and it was gay and straight, basically. Whoever come out, they had a good time. And they'd have all the drag queens come in on Sunday night.
All right.
I stayed for one of the shows and just laughed so hard, it was just hilarious. So I started taking pictures of the drag queens and selling them to the performers. So, it kind of supported me in that. Well, things got a little bit slow, and I mentioned to the owner of the bar that I was looking for some work. I was hinting to him that, I could use the job there. But it was slow for them, too. Right. There was another man sitting there, and he piped up that he knew somebody who would be very interested in having me go to work for him. And that just happened to be Sam Soda. He was the man who said this. Well, lo and behold, he hooked me up with Larry King. Okay. And I had no idea who Larry King was. And
let me interrupt you a minute. Larry King, a black man, not Larry King Live.
Right.
Yeah. It's Larry King. He had the Franklin Credit Union in Omaha, Nebraska, which a lot of people are very familiar with.
Rising star in the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you, Rusty. I just wanted to get that across.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where this all came in. And the next thing I know, I was getting all brand new clothes and being flown all over on private jets and you name it.
So Larry King had been into his deal quite a while when he first met you and hired you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this was what year, Rusty?
I believe it would have been probably 87.
I thought you said 87, 88, right?
Yeah, 87, 88.
Right.
And, that was where I came into the pictures at that point. So, it was amazing. Here I am, a little plowboy from northeast Nebraska, and grew up on a farm in a good family and all this, and then all of a sudden, here's this, what looked like a very wealthy man who's shown interest in my work. And, it was one of these things where it was unbelievable because here I am, I'm getting brought into a whole other lifestyle, the rich, the famous, the movers, the shakers.
The bright lights.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Jet airplanes.
Yeah. And, at first everything was all hunky-dory. I didn't see anything wrong with anything at all. And he had me sit in his office at the credit union, and he'd have our meetings and that, and I was there, and then pretty soon I started to realize I was there as the eye candy. And, I got to looking at this, trying to figure out what was going on. And the more I looked at it, the more I saw that there was some big problems. And I noticed that there were a lot of indiscretions and that shouldn't be. It didn't take me long to figure out there were 2 sets of books at that credit union.
Wow.
Just from what was being said.